everyone, it's Tallen here with 59 Gaming, and today's video was going to be all about upgrading to the next gen consoles and everything, how Sony's been approaching it, how Xbox is doing it, comparing them, the ups and the downs, especially because it's compared to the brand new release date that was given for Horizon Forbidden West, which is obviously the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. By the way, if you have not played that game, go play it now. You can get it for really cheap on PlayStation the store. You can get it for really cheap, probably even cheaper actually on PC if you want to play there. So by all means, go play that game. It's absolutely amazing. But it was interesting how Sony was approaching this, and then especially when you compared it to like Xbox and everything. But regardless, we had this whole script made and everything like that, and it was just like, okay, let's go ahead and do this. And like no less than I'll say like half an hour before I was about to record this part, and then I was getting other members from 59 Gaming to also do it as well, Sony just tweeted this little thing out, and we're like, oh, well, there goes that, which I guess in the long run is a benefit to saying, hey, we waited a little bit to get our facts and everything, and then there was extra information that we could get and we could talk about it. But it's like the small little tweet basically does that. So what I thought I would do with this video instead was I just change it up a little bit. I'm just kind of talk about my personal feelings and my opinions on how this is looking in terms of comparing how Sony is handling their first party games compared to Xbox, because we can't, we can obviously also look at third parties because a lot of different ones will have different upgrade paths and everything like that when it comes to changing this stuff. But I also got some of the other 59 members to give some of their opinions as well, because a lot of us have PlayStation consoles, a lot of us have Xboxes, PCs, everything. So we just kind of wanted to go with that. So I'm sorry if I stutter with a couple of things and everything like that. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get straight into this. Okay, quick background information if you don't know what's actually going on. Basically what happened was that Horizon Forbidden West was given an official release date, along with all of the crazy, bundles that you could get with it, or the different models and forms of it, which was basically, standard, digital, deluxe digital, regalia type and everything like that. It was, the typical stuff you'd see from big first party games and everything like that, to make sure you knew exactly what you're getting. However, one thing that was noted was that in order to get both the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 version of the game, you had to buy the digital deluxe version, meaning if you bought the standard edition or anything that was below the digital deluxe version, you did not get the upgraded version. If you wanted to get that, you either A, had to buy the digital deluxe version, or you basically had to shell out another like $70 for the same game again if you ever decided to get the PlayStation 5. Because let's face it, most people do not have a PlayStation 5 to this day. I don't have one. You kidding me? Trying to find one here in Tokyo is absolutely ridiculous. I haven't even tried. Like every time I go, they have signs up there. There's like, nope, yeah, you have to like enter a lottery system, which FYI, Japan does like quite a bit actually here when it comes to a lot of stuff that comes out in short supply. But regardless, it's just like, nope, not gonna find one and everything like that. And that's obviously the way just around the world. It's everything from the semiconductor shortages to just simply the demand for them. You have the scalpers and everything, which by the way, please do not pay like $900 for the PlayStation 5. I personally want one myself, but I'm not going to pay that kind of money for it. So when it gets down to normal price again, eventually I will get it. Now, because of this, obviously Sony has had to go in and be like, okay, look, a lot of the games that we said, first party at least, that were only going to be on the PlayStation 5, well, they're also going to be on the PlayStation 4, because again, a lot of people just have not been able to get the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. So that makes sense. We get that. However, it's a little weird though that at the very beginning of the PlayStation 5's lifespan, you had the free upgrades for things like, Miles Morales and things. And then they had said that it would be free for a little bit until, a majority of people were able to get over to the PlayStation 5. That clearly has not been the case though. And then we started to see things with like the Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, where in order to get the upgrades for the PlayStation 5 version, instead of just simply taking the PlayStation 4 version and playing it on the PlayStation 5, you had to pay like an extra $10 to $20 depending on like what version you had. If you had like the normal version, go into the normal version or something like that, it was $10 to $20 upgrade. Or if you went from the PlayStation 4 normal to the Director's Cut on PlayStation 5, it was $30. You guys remember that, right? We covered it on the channel already. Go check out the video. It's up in the top left corner if you want to go check it out. Right side, whatever, it is what it is. But regardless, that's how it went. And then all of a sudden with Horizon Forbidden West, it was just like, nope, no upgrade path. If you want to buy it, you got to buy like this middle kind of expensive one, especially for a lot of people, it is pretty expensive to shell out $80 for a game. We don't know much about it. We can go off the track record and say, yeah, the prequel to it was really good and everything like that. But, a lot of people are very cautious when they come to buying video games and everything like that. And again, buying video games, it can be an expensive hobby. It really can. So it was, kind of shocked to be like, whoa, if I buy this on PlayStation 4, but I want the disc version, you know, whether you got the disc version of the PlayStation 4 or you have just the digital version, or same with the PlayStation 5 or anything like that, then it was kind of like, so you're basically making me pay for the extra, you know, expensive version, which I think is like $20 extra compared to a normal PlayStation 4 version to get the digital deluxe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, or the correct prices will be up on the screen. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, you have to buy completely new again. You know, obviously if you bought the digital deluxe and then you bought like the $200 version, which was like the collector's edition or something like that, and then the regalia version was like $260, which is obviously gonna be very limited. It's like, yeah, you get that, but it's like, yeah, but you just shelled out like half the price of a PlayStation 5. So, and a lot of people are probably still trying to save their money to buy a, you know, a new console, whether you are on Xbox or on PlayStation, it doesn't matter. That's just the way it is. So Sony's been very, I guess greedy is the word I kind of want to use. I don't know what's going on through their heads. I mean, I get it. They're a business, you know, money comes first. You got to make your money whatever way you can. But there's a line to be drawn in terms of making the consumer happy and being well liked, and then obviously wanting to make that money and everything like that. And honestly, in my opinion, granted, now if anyone knows me, I've never owned an Xbox console in my life, nothing. But Xbox is kind of doing it the right way. Basically saying any first party games that we deliver to you guys, doesn't matter what platform you on, you get the free upgrade. You know, and then obviously they have one of the best things that I've ever seen in my life, which is the Games Pass. That's just an absolutely amazing deal. So it's just like, why is Sony doing this? Is it because they, you know, a lot of people say they won the previous gen console wars and everything like that, which I'm not even going to get into here, but is it because of that? Then they're like, yeah, you know, we can kind of do whatever we want, but at the same time, it's kind of like, Sony, you've also kind of been slapped across the face when it comes to things like crossplay and your methods of doing that and charging and all that kind of stuff. It's whatever, it is what it is. But regardless, now we have a little bit of extra information that Sony finally came out, probably after due to all the backlash and everything. And this is what we got to see right here. So as you guys can see on this website here, so this is just simply an upgrade from what we saw, or an update, I should say. It says Thursday was to be a celebration of Horizon Forbidden West and the amazing team at Guerrilla working to deliver it on February 18th, 2022. You guys don't know, it obviously got delayed a little bit, which, hey, by all means, I'm completely fine. Delay your games as much as you want, Sony, to make sure that we get the best experience possible when it comes to your games and everything. So again, this was supposed to celebrate that, which is pretty clear and everything. Then it comes down here and it says, last year we made a commitment to deliver free upgrades for our cross-gen launch titles, which included Horizon Forbidden West. While the pandemic's profound impact pushed Forbidden West out of the launch window we initially envisioned, we still stand by our offers. Players who purchase Horizon Forbidden West on PlayStation 4 will be able to upgrade to the PS5 version for free. Now, obviously, if you guys saw the info from a couple days ago, that was not the case. They literally stated, in fact, if you scroll down all the way here, you'll see that it will say, if you want to get the upgraded version to the PlayStation 5, whenever you eventually get a PlayStation 5, you must buy the digital deluxe edition. And people were not happy about that, myself included. When I saw it, I was just like, so I can personally afford that, but that's just me. I don't want to buy the more expensive version if I have to, though. I'd rather buy the version that I want to buy. I'm definitely not gonna buy the $200 version or anything like that. So a lot of people were pissed. I mean, this definitely probably sent Sony's, you know, tweets and social media, and who knows, maybe even affected stock or something like that. I'm not really sure, but regardless, that's what it did. And so finally, then, as you can see here, it says, again, this is from the community lead over at Guerrilla. I get the feeling this is more probably from, you know, Sony actually, but regardless, it also says, so they say that it's going to be free now, which is great, obviously. But then they also go down and say, I also want to confirm today that moving forward, PlayStation's first party, keep that in mind, first party exclusive cross-gen titles, so newly released on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, both digital and physical, will offer a $10 digital upgrade option from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5. So they're basically doing what they did for the Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, but now for future, just simply exclusive Sony games. So they include things like God of War, Gran Turismo 7, and other exclusive cross-gen exclusives from Sony. So obviously that doesn't include third gen or anything, or third-party games or anything like that, but regardless, that's how it's going to work from now on, okay? Of course, obviously, I'm probably guessing in the next 4 years, maybe when majority of people have a PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 is not really the main concern or anything like that, then obviously that's not really going to be the case, because probably PlayStation 4 won't even have some of those games in the future. Me personally, I don't think the whole like, chip shortage and everything when it comes to all of that, when it comes to like graphics cards and consoles and everything, I don't think that's personally gonna really settle down until 2023. All these articles keep saying 2022. I personally say 2023. That's just my personal opinion though. So first off, based off of what we see right here though, this is great that we get to see this. This is great that they finally kind of like, woke up kind of, but at the same time, it's kind of like, no, if it wasn't for maybe our pushback and everything, you probably would have not even changed this and just gone with what you had, right? Get that extra money essentially from all the digital deluxe versions. So while I'm happy that this is definitely a step in the right direction, you then see obviously that you do have the $10 upgrade, which again, I get as a business, that they're going to make some money on this. So you can easily say that, no, Xbox is doing it way better than Sony, because Xbox is just like, nah, it's free. We don't care. Whatever version you have of it, if you go up to the next gen, guess what? It's a free upgrade. Sony's like, no, we're going to charge for it for whatever the reasons are, right? It's the same thing that we're seeing with like, the PlayStation 5 games going up to $70 now. You see this with all the AAA games like NBA 22 or 2K22 and things like that, all those sports games. So it is, again, let us know your thoughts down below in the comments when it comes to that. So I'm glad that they've done this. I really am. This is by far a win for us. But at the same time, it's kind of just like, Sony, why did you even do this in the first place? It's like you knew the backlash was coming. But at the same time, it's like, did you do this because you wanted to then make something like this to make yourselves look like the good guy that you listened to us? Was that the plan all along, though? We've seen this from other companies and everything like that, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. So I'm glad they did this, but at the same time, it was still kind of a scummy thing for Sony to do. But again, that's just my opinion. So now what I want to do is I want to hand the reins over to a couple of our other recorders and everything. Chin and Lethal, who you've probably seen on the channel quite a bit now. Guys, go ahead and take it away. Give us your personal opinions.
Sony, okay, let me preface by saying, like, I know they reversed their decision, their really dumb decision, in that we get Horizon Forbidden West for free now. PS4 users get a free upgrade, like they promised, like they literally promised as a launch title. I don't care if it got pushed back. That's their fault. That shouldn't affect how the fans get it, and clearly everybody else felt that way too, except for Sony for some reason. This felt like, it felt kind of intentional. I feel like they didn't forget that they promised a free upgrade. I feel like they were testing the waters, really, and seeing how much they could get away with. Like, can we get away with making people charge twice for our first-party exclusives? No, you can't. Like, look, I'm coming from a PS5 user. This literally wouldn't affect me. Like, I just buy the game on PS5. I literally don't have to worry about it. But like, that's not the point. The point is that most people who want a PS5 can't seem to get one, right? I don't care how many tens of millions that fastest selling console on the planet. Like, I don't care about that. What matters is that most fans can't get their hands on one. And so it's like, what are they supposed to do? Wait? Wait, you want someone to get? Do you want them to buy the game at launch? Like, I feel like that's what they want. Or what? Are fans supposed to wait till they get a PS5? Like, that's just, I don't know, man. I'm really thankful for the community, the whole gaming community saying, what the hell? Because what the hell, man? Like, why? Why would you even try that with your fans? Like, it really feels like a whole slap and a half to the face that you would even like think that would be okay. But I digress a whole lot. I can't really say good job, Sony. I want to say good job to the community, right? The community got this for us, not Sony. Honestly, like, just good job for everyone calling out bullcrap. Good job for calling it out, because it's not okay what they try to get away with. So I appreciate everybody in the community, everybody who's out there who was vocal about this, because it's important to be vocal about what you want. We're the consumer, right? We have rights. What we want matters. It matters. It matters. People don't think that, but like, we pay them. I get artistic choices and stuff in games, but like corporate choices about access to a video game that was literally promised as a free upgrade, that it shouldn't negatively affect us. Whatever. I'm going on a tangent. Good job, community. Sony, do better. Just do better next time. Come on.
Now, if I look at PlayStation and Xbox, when it comes to this cross-gen right now and upgrading options and everything, I had to say Xbox is probably doing it a little bit better, just simply for the fact that, you know, they have smart delivery, and that service, if you bought your game on Xbox One, you're going to get it on the Series X and the Series S at no additional charge. Like, that's just their promise for their games that it pretty much serves, which is pretty much all their first-party games, right? And then you look at Game Pass, and they're promising that with Game Pass as well, right? So you're going to be able to play those games on any platform. And then xCloud mixed in with Game Pass, and you can play those games on the go. Like, that offering is sick, and it's such a good deal. You're looking at how PlayStation is doing it when it comes to cross-gen right now. And mind you, you got to keep in mind too, right? We're still in those first 2 years, right? So cross-gen is still an important thing right now. And, you know, they're still making games for, you know, the previous consoles. And, you know, they're also going to have the offerings for the new consoles. You're going to see PS4 and PS5 editions. Same thing with Xbox One, Xbox Series X editions. So now going into PlayStation, right, with all that in mind, what are they doing? It's a little bit complicated. In the beginning, you know, they did make their promise for their launch, you know, first-party games like Spider-Man Miles Morales. If you bought that game on PS4, you got it at PS5 for no additional charge. Facts. That definitely happened. Going now, looking at almost Horizon Forbidden West, which almost would have been a really bad situation. You know, essentially, they almost didn't even offer an upgrade option. Just said they were just going to say, hey, you got to buy the more premium edition, which is what the digital deluxe, which is like I think $80, and then I think it was also the collector's edition, the Regala edition, that just went up higher in price. And said if you want access to both copies, you got to buy one of those. We got to buy one of those premium versions, and you know that's a big no-no, especially when again it's pandemic. There's scalpers. What's the other one? There's chip shortages. Like there's so many reasons why a lot of people are just having a hard time just getting these new consoles. And so I think it's the most important thing you do is you offer the upgrade option. And I'm glad to see that they actually changed their minds and now they did offer. They kind of went back on everything and say, hey, you know, we did initially promise, as this was among the other games that we had kind of mentioned back in the past, to offer a free upgrade if you got your PS4, you know, the PS4 edition to go to your PS5. And that's what they did. So good on them for that. But then they also kind of added in on there that, hey, future titles like God of War, though, and Gran Turismo 7, we are going to charge you a $10 if you bought the PS4 version to upgrade to the PS5. And that's where it's kind of like, oh, okay. And then you're kind of looking at us, what has PlayStation done, right? Because, you know, Xbox, they've been doing stuff like, you know, for their backwards compatibility, they've been boosting those games. A lot of just older gen games. And it kind of goes with the fact that, like, hey, for this whole cross-gen era, right, for this time period where, you know, people are just still transitioning to these newer consoles, you know, it's cool what they're doing. PlayStation, they're doing, I guess you could say, director's cuts. And, I mean, some games have been getting some free performance boosts, right? Mostly, like, third-party games. But for their first party, they've been doing director's cuts. And I'm looking at what they're kind of doing, you know. We know going forward, their plan is, it's like, hey, God of War, like we said, $10, okay? And like what they're doing for their previous games, like they're kind of been re-releasing them, but underneath this whole new thing of director's cuts. Ghost of Tsushima, you know, this is a pretty more recent one. That was a pretty big jump if you really wanted the PS5 edition. That was like a $30 jump, but they kind of mixed that in with the whole, you know, like Iki Island expansion, right? The additional photo mode stuff. I mean, they added a bunch of different things. The lip sync feature, they added a ton to kind of warrant that $30 price point. And if you ask me, I played the Iki Island expansion. I played all of the stuff that it came with, and I thought it was worth my $30. And they're doing stuff like, look at Death Stranding. That's another previous old game that if you want to get the cool update, it's going to be $10, right? The upgrade to the PS5 version for $10. But it didn't come with just the upgrade, right? They charged you, but it came with new missions, new ways of, you know, of delivery to transfer your packages and stuff like that. Like, they added more additional content to it. So it's kind of like these $10 are for at least some of the PlayStation first-party games. They're definitely promising, you know, some additional content. Now, going forward, for future titles like God of War, that's a different situation. However, now if we look both together, you know, who's doing it better when it comes to these upgrades? And it's kind of easy to just say, hey, Xbox, if you look at just the base game, you know, Xbox is just promising you, hey, you're just going to get that, you know, next gen option or the current gen option, that Series X option for free. They're not going to charge you. Whereas PlayStation, it looks like they are just, you know, going forward, it's going to be like an extra $10. However, you got to look at that catalog of PlayStation games. It's really good. You're looking at a lot of Game of the Year, you know, titles like look at God of War, the sequel to God of War. Like, that's a big game. So I guess it kind of, you have to ask yourself, the extra $10, look at that game, is it worth it? And again, as everybody can kind of admit, PlayStation, they've been killing it with their first party games. And so if it's $10, look at that game first and kind of, check out that game. I mean, look at Ghost of Tsushima, right? There's a lot of games that were runner-up for Game of the Year, So keep that in mind too. So I think when you look at the titles, I think PlayStation $10 is a kind of a justifiable price, because I think they just offer you just great experiences, where Xbox, I think it is the better pro-consumer choice to say, hey, you bought that game on Xbox One, it supports smart delivery, you're just gonna get that on your Series X. So I gotta look at it. I had to look at it from that lens on both of them. I'm gonna pass it back over to you, Tallen.
All right, guys, so there you go. There are the opinions from me, Chin, and Lethal, but we want to know your thoughts now down below in the comments. Are you on board with what Sony's doing right now, where Forbidden West will be free upgrade if you eventually get the PlayStation 5, but other games coming out in the future are going to be $10 upgrades? Obviously we don't know what's going to happen in like 4 or 5 years or anything like that, but let's know your thoughts there. Again, for me personally, I'm going to say it's definitely a lot better than what it was. But when you compare it to something like Xbox or anything like that, it's unfortunately not the greatest situation. I get it, business and everything, they're going to do what they got to do, but who knows, maybe because they won the last gen, or however you want to do it. I'm not going to get into that argument. Maybe their egos are going a little high and everything like that. So regardless of what it is, let us know your thoughts in the comments though. I'm personally still excited for Forbidden West. I think it's going to be an amazing game, because that is again by the developers, which is Guerrilla. They've made amazing games in the past. So regardless of what Sony does and how bad things may look on that, I am going to support Guerrilla, because Guerrilla Studios has made amazing games, and I'm 100% confident that this will probably be a very, very good game. So anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments. As always though, leave a like if you like the video, subscribe if you have to be new to stay up to date on all gaming news here on 5-9 Gaming Direct. And until next time, everyone, I've been Tallen with 5-9 Gaming, and we'll see you all in the next one. Johnny.